I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania. Rough neighborhood, a lot of violence, a lot of drugs, and a lot of young kids having kids. But somehow, some way, I found a way. For me, sports was the way for me to take my mind off of all the negative things that was happening in the community that I was raised. I use sports as something to remove myself from that environment and focus on something that interests me instead of all the bad things that were going on. And ultimately, it took me a long way.
And you started in a different sport. You started in basketball. Tell me about that.
Basketball for me was the sport that I began at 5 years old. My uncle was a star basketball player in high school, and he lived with me. So I would go to his games and cheer him on. And anytime we come home from the games, he would just give me the basketball, and he would try to take the ball from me. So I started dribbling at a young age, and as I grew older and older, I got more in love with it. And I was just a heck of a basketball player growing up.
And then you made the jump to football. So tell me a little bit about that, because that's not a usual jump, going from basketball to football.
At first, football for me was one of those things where I didn't want anybody to tackle me. You know, I didn't want anybody laying on top of me on the ground, sweaty people, So in 8th grade, one of my best friends, who was a heck of a football player, he also played football from an early age. He told me to come out to play football, and at first I was hesitant, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. There's no way, and heck, I'm going to go play football. But then he asked me again and again and again, and I was like, the hell with it, why not? And the first position I played in football was quarterback. And the coach came to me and he was like, look, we're going to put you at quarterback because we know you're a point guard in basketball and we know you know how to facilitate the ball. So I'm like, okay. So the first day I'm throwing the ball. He was like, well, you seem like a natural at throwing the football. So I ended up playing quarterback. Our team, my first year, went undefeated, won the championship. And then we also won the championship in basketball. So it was one of those things where I was kind of torn in between which one I liked more. So I just stuck with both.
When you're not playing on the off season, do you go back home?
Yeah, I'm back home in Pennsylvania when I'm not in season. I'm doing a lot of things in the community, a lot of mentoring programs for those kids that were in that situation that I was in growing up. Try to give them something to look forward to, something positive, away from all the negative things that they might be facing at home, whether it's drugs, sex, all those different things that could lead them down the wrong path. I do a mentoring program that helps take them away from that.
So you work a lot with kids, and you also do a lot for Lyme disease. Can you tell me just a little bit about that?
So I started working, doing a lot of things with Lyme disease because a friend of mine years ago who was in the military, ended up having their pension revoked because they found out that they contracted Lyme while out there, going through the procedures of being in the military, and they took the pension away, so they had to fight, kick, and scratch just to get their treatments and medication paid for. For me, at this point, I'm in a place where I have the ability to impact people and get the word out that there's people out there that need our help and our support, and why not? So they had it, and I fell in love with helping them bring awareness to it.
You help a lot of people, and you're also a veteran player in the league. So do you find you're a mentor for some of the younger guys coming into the game?
Absolutely. A lot of the young guys that I have played with, they all say that I'm the greatest of all time, and I always ask them, why do you consider me the greatest of all time? It never has anything to do with football. It's because outside of football, the things that I'm able to do with them, whether that's take them on trips or teach them how to watch film or give them the ins and outs about route combinations or teach a defense. And I do a lot of different things with young guys to help them become better professional athletes.
One last random question, and I think I know the answer to this based on your Halloween costume from last year, but any superhero you'd be, who would it be?
If I had to choose a superhero, I'd be Superman, simply because I feel like Superman is always that character that always saves the day. He's always there when you need him. He's accountable. He just gets the job done all the time. So that would be my superhero, Superman.
Can we expect another appearance of Superman this Halloween?
I might have to find a different costume, but you never know. Stay tuned.